Out to the mound to take his warm-up tosses, and does it so quickly that he's still got a lot of time to get himself ready and make sure he's in control and command before he faces a hitter.
In the last few years in which he's hit and pitched the same game, it's always been at long times go back out to the mound for Shohei Ohtani. But he's been quick. My go-tos for Ohtani to have another good game against the Seattle lineup is change eye levels with the sweeper. That means that sweeper upstairs and then go down and away with that same exact pitch. And to get some chases again with a splitter. His splitter that first time out against Oakland was outstanding. Best I've seen in a couple years. See if he gets more chases with this lineup for Seattle.
Seattle will line up with Julio Rodriguez leading off, then Ty France. Teoscar Hernandez had 2 homers last night. He hits 5th today. We'll see Colton Wong and Jared Kelenic for the first time in this series, with a right-hander finally on the mound for the Angels. A.J. Pollock had 2 home runs and 5 knocked in last night for Seattle as well. Scott Service, the second most wins in Mariners history, behind Lou Piniella. As he looks on, Shohei Ohtani delivers ball 1 to Julio Rodriguez.
First pitch sinker for Shohei.
Easier said than done to get Rodriguez out, especially early in a game where he's a .446 career hitter in the first inning. He's been off to a great start. He has 5 extra base hits already, including 4 doubles and a home run. It was a leadoff homer that he hit the other day against Cleveland. There's the breaking ball, the sweeper from Shohei for a strike to Rodriguez. It's just in the last couple of seasons where Ohtani has really added that sinker along with a cutter. He's mastered his splitter and his slider. 3 balls, 1 strike on Rodriguez. Remember, he registered 7 different pitch types on StatCast last year. He and Chris Bassett, who we'll see on Friday, pitching for the Blue Jays in the home opener against the Angels, the only pitchers to throw that many pitches according to StatCast. Rodriguez rockets 1 foul, but it's 3-2.
Yeah, as usual, Shohei doesn't give in, throw a fastball in a fastball count. It was breaking ball, the sweeper on a 3-1 count. It seems like Julio Rodriguez just wants to slow Shohei down if he can here. He had already stepped out after 1 pitch. Breaks his bat, taking his time to get back.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because without really timeouts or being able to step out of the box, you have the pitch timer going. You know, the usage of a broken bat here really gave Rodriguez some time to slow it down in a big way. We haven't really seen a batter do that, but he really milked that opportunity to get a new bat. And Shohei Ohtani walks Rodriguez to start the game.
Take a look at the different pitches that Shohei Ohtani threw. Our StatCast really powered by Google Cloud. What he threw and where the difference is as far as the pitch coming through the zone. That 4-seam fastball, just about 98 miles an hour to split at 89. The sweeper at 84, but look at that curveball at 78 miles an hour. How different the separation of the distance between the curveball getting the home plate is compared to the 4-seam fastball.
Here's Ty France. There's a strike from Ohtani. Did I miss your key to the game? Did I miss it?
Not yet.
Oh, it hasn't come yet.
Yes, not yet.
I was hoping.
Building the drama.
I thought I nodded off here for a second.
Building the drama-rama.
Can't wait. 1 ball, 1 strike on France.
Rodriguez a couple stolen bases. Shohei Ohtani always difficult to steal a base. About 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts last year. Just 7 stolen bases overall in 11 attempts in his career.
Rodriguez with a nice lead, held on by Lamb. Throw behind him as Ohapi looks that way, and Rodriguez gets back.
In the norm with Shohei, just the feel for pitches, and we've seen that throughout this series for Angels starters between their slider and sweeper, the feel for that pitch.
There's a strike. Ohtani connects with the sinker to make it 2-2. Off the glove of Ohapi, and Rodriguez takes second.
Over through that sinker. It's already 4 sinkers he's thrown today. He did not throw one in Oakland, nor did he throw a cutter in Oakland. So the creative one, again, whatever he had a feel for down in the bullpen early on, was throwing.
He walked Rodriguez. Now he's full with France. And he walks him as well. Consecutive walks to start the game. The Mariners have 2 on for Eugenio Suarez.
Hyundai key for the game today, going queen today. The show must go on. Shohei Ohtani, so important for this team to be able to get this series victory here in Seattle with the bat and certainly on the mound.
We've been doing Seattle bands all week, and today, on the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death, you have let go of the opportunity to use Nirvana.
Well, it's all about the show.
Suarez on the liner to right. That's a base hit. Rodriguez will be waved around. Renfroe's got a great arm. He throws to third, and it gets away. Coming on to score is France, or at least trying to. Now the throw to the plate, and France is out. Rodriguez does score on the play. The Mariners take the early lead. It's 1-0. That ball bounced back a little bit toward Urshela. And Ty France tried to score anyway, and Urshela threw him out.
Well, Suarez has had a big game swinging the bat and driving in runs. Ball not squared up and hit perfectly. And it looked like they were holding up Julio Rodriguez, knowing that arm of Hunter Renfroe. He's throwing right away to third, assuming he was going to go home. And a heads-up play by Gio Urshela, and a good throw to Ohapi to lead him to the third base side of the plate.
Scott Service is out talking to the home plate umpire, Pat Oberg. Not exactly sure if Service is asking about where that ball hit, because if it bounced into the camera well and then back out, it would have been out of play, and France would have been awarded the plate. But I guess the umpires are saying that it bounced off a railing and stayed in play the whole time, allowing for Urshela. A pitch clock violation here has been called against Ohtani, with Cal Raleigh about to stand in. So that's ball 1 to Raleigh. Now it's 2-0. It's an inauspicious start here for Shohei.
And throughout his career, usually it's the first inning, and most great pitchers, that first inning is where you try to get a feel on this comfortable on the mound. So far, not the case for Shohei. Really a heads-up play by Gio Urshela to get it out at home plate. If he throws that throw towards the first base side of the home plate area, it's going to hit France coming in and slide at home plate. Instead, it was a perfect throw.
Interesting that Renfroe threw to third in that scenario. Saw an opportunity to throw out Ty France there. A good throw would have had France at third. France was lucky to make it there, and then when he tried to score, he was thrown out. But you're right, the third base coach for the Mariners, Moniak, was holding Rodriguez initially until Renfroe threw that ball behind him.
Again, another full count. See if that play turns out to be a big difference maker in this game. I know it's only the first inning, but you could have easily had second and third with no outs and a run in. And they're trying the best they can to slow down Shohei Ohtani to step out. Rodriguez did it. Raleigh did it here, especially on a 3-2 count.
Strike 3 called to Raleigh. 97 with the fastball at the bottom of the zone on the inside corner. Ohtani has his first strikeout, 2 down.
Four-seamer paints the inside corner, 97. That's a perfect follow-through. A couple times already on a sweeper, just a little bit out of sync as far as his delivery.
So with 2 away, here's Teoscar Hernandez. He takes a strike. That fastball starting to pop now for Ohtani.
Usually as good as it gets with runners in scoring position. Suarez with a base hit with a runner in scoring position gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead.
Ohtani now finding command with that fastball. Hits the outside edge. You know, you mentioned it. He was throwing a lot of sinkers early in this inning. Now he's going to the fastball more and getting strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Ohtani battles back to get back-to-back strikeouts. He limits the damage in the first. Seattle gets 1. Shohei Ohtani used his sinker a lot in the beginning of the first inning, then went back to his four-seamer. Seemed to have better results with that as he misses with a breaking ball to Kolten Wong to lead off the bottom of the second. Now working with the lead is Ohtani, thanks to his battery mate, Logan O'Hoppe.
He's faced 6 batters now, 3 times he's been ahead of the count. 1-0. So strike zone still not quite the normal for Ohtani.
Kolten Wong takes a strike. First time we're seeing Wong in this series. Didn't play against the left-handers. The Angels started the first 2 games. He pops this ball up to shallow center. Mike Trout trots in. And there's 1 away here in the second. We saw Shohei Ohtani discussing with Pat Hoberg after the end of the first inning about his delivery with a man on base and how that resulted in a pitch timer violation. For more on that conversation, here's Erica Weston.
Yeah, Wayne, I got a little bit more context from the guys in the dugout. Basically, it was exactly what Gooby was talking about. Make sure the batter is engaged before Shohei starts looking at him, getting ready to start that motion. Now, this is the second start in a row that Shohei has had to deal with a little bit intricacies as far as the pitch timer is concerned. So the reason the conversation was taking a little bit longer is because they wanted to explain Shohei does come to a stop before he engages with the batter. So they just wanted to make sure there's clarification between both of them.
I like that too. When you want to make sure that you're on the same page with the home plate umpire there. And by the way, I love these calling his own game there with the pitch count. Just make sure that conversation was the right way to go about it. Wasn't heated or anything. This is exactly what I do. And sometimes when you haven't home plate umpire behind the game plate with Shohei Ohtani, you don't see some of those things. So now there's an understanding of what Shohei does. Moving forward, there should be no more complications.
This is still a learning experiment too for a lot of players. It's the early part of the first year with these pitch timers and these new rules. 2 balls, 2 strikes on A.J. Pollock. And keep in mind too that for a couple of weeks of spring training, Ohtani wasn't around. He was with Japan in the World Baseball Classic, and they didn't have the pitch timer during the WBC.
Now I go back to what he was motioning to Pat Hoberg on the side. He was saying he was stepping out. When he goes to his motion, he brings the legs straight up. He doesn't step to the side like a lot of other pitchers may do.
For all 30 stadiums. There's ball 4 to Pollock. Third walk issued by Shohei Ohtani.
And I thought he was going to go with that after a fastball 3-2. More conventional sliders, a harder one to lay off because it's coming in at upper 80s, even low 90s. So they're going to be more apt to go after this compared to 83 to 85 on a sweeper.
Jared Kelenic stands in. There's been so much discussion here in Seattle about what to do with Kelenic, who has really struggled at the major league level. He does have a home run in his career against Ohtani, who is not having a lot of success with that slider so far.
And so far they're tracking it, and it's not as hard, like I said, as his slider, normal slider. So they have more time to read it and not go after. That slider's almost like a fastball. It's hard to lay off it.
Got a good one there to get a swing and miss from Kelenic. He's thrown that pitch more than any other so far in this game. Out of his 35 pitches, 16 of them have been that sweeper. So he's staying with it even though he has not been sharp with it so far.
Even that one stayed upstairs. Look at his whiff percentage of 37.4 with a sweeper so far this season. You go back to last year with that one between his slider and that, it's a little bit different story for as far as swing and miss percentage. A little over 38% with that one.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Kelenic. Interestingly, too, he has thrown 17 of those sweepers so far in this game. He's only gotten 4 swings and just 1 miss.
Yeah. That was his first splitter there. Usually he will elevate his first splitter of the game until he gets a feel for that.
Full count now on Kelenic.
So far, pretty patient approach against Shohei Ohtani by Seattle. A team that Shohei has pitched exceptionally well against. 4-0, 1.66 ERA. There they are again, stepping out on a 3-2 count. We've seen that already a number of times today. They know that Shohei Ohtani is all about his routine and rhythm. They're trying to step out as much as they can within the rules.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kelenic bends on the breaking ball as Shohei Ohtani gets the strikeout with the sweeper, and it's important to note that it's really a different pitch than his traditional slider.
Yeah, we say it quite a bit. The slider is going to be hard, more of a vertical drop, but on the sweeper it's more of a horizontal break, and it's going to be a little bit slower for the most part. So slider, straight down vertical drop, horizontal break on his sweeper like you're seeing right there. I know everyone's asking at home, they want to know the explanation behind that, but that's the big difference. Horizontal vertical break on similar pitches, similar grips, but the speed of that and the way they break.
And also different from the traditional curveball, too.
It's a slur, basically. A sweeper's a slur. We used to say back a few years ago.
1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of times those slurs were a bit undefined. This is really just more of a way to define it, what this pitch really is. J.P. Crawford hooks one to the right field corner, foul, hit it hard, but out in front of it.
Now, after that swing on a sweeper there for Shohei, gotta believe he's throwing a splitter now.
Crawford has had some success against Shohei in the past. He's 4 for 14 against him. High fastball that Crawford lays off.
He's had a lot of deep counts already. 43 pitches already for Shohei. He did have a strikeout against Hernandez with his splitter early, so he's thrown a couple of them so far.
Line to center. Trout comes in, then backs off. It's a base hit for Crawford. So the Mariners have 2 on. The batter will be Julio Rodriguez.
He did a pretty nice job of putting that splitter in play.
First time through the order for Ohtani. The Mariners certainly have had some traffic on the bases. It's the Angels who have the lead as Rodriguez stands in with 2 out and 2 on.
A lot of fans walked late to come into this ballpark, a day game today. This is what they came for right here. Ohtani versus Julio Rodriguez.
This is a main event style matchup with 2 on and 2 out. Rodriguez stands in against Ohtani. First pitch, fastball, strike from Shohei.
Usually Shohei at his best with runners in scoring position. Trying to put a shutdown inning.
Bouncing ball to the right side. Lamb backs up to have it. Leads Ohtani to the bag. And Rodriguez is retired to in the second. Seattle threatens. They don't score. The Angels have the lead after 2. T-Mobile Park called the pen, where you can watch the bullpen. And Shohei Ohtani warming up before the game in front of just a mass of humanity, all with their phones out, trying to get a picture or video of Shohei Ohtani, who has hit Ty France with the first pitch here in the bottom of the 3rd. That's a popular pregame hangout spot here at T-Mobile Park out there in left center field called the Pen. Fans can eat and get some beverages before the game and watch batting practice or watch the players warm up. And in this case, spending a lot of time crowding around Shohei Ohtani warming up in the bullpen.
And a lot of teams have done that also in different ballparks where they've seen how popular that is here in Seattle. Follow the same course.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez, he might have been hit by that pitch. Maybe he hit the bat. It's going to be a foul ball off the bat of Suarez.
Not unusual for France to be hit by a pitch. In 21, he was hit 27 times, which led baseball 21 times last year.
Suarez with an RBI single his first time. He's off to a good start. He's not homered yet. He's got the second most home runs in the major leagues dating back to 2018. Only Aaron Judge has more. Don't forget, Judge needed 62 to barely pass Suarez in that category. 2 balls and a strike on Suarez, with 31 last year.
Still not getting swings and chases with his sweeper yet today.
Staying with it, though. He's only thrown a few splitters, a couple cutters. There's been a lot of those sweepers. Suarez with a swing and a miss on the cutter. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Breaking out the cutter now.
It's only the 3rd one he's thrown. So he's working through the mix. 2-2. Suarez lifts a lazy fly ball to right center. This is Renfroe. And there's 1 out.
Sometimes you can't tell those two apart out there, Renfroe and Trell.
Yeah, if they wiggled around each other, if they did like the hat game where you didn't know which ball was under the hat and they just wiggled around each other for 5 minutes, they would be tough to tell apart.
Yeah. Walking in today, we saw them going to the locker room, and they were like, wow, they do look exactly alike. It's crazy.
About the same height. Trout's a little thinner. They look very similar. Here's Cal Raleigh. Raleigh struck out looking his first time. Raleigh had 27 homers last year, a Mariners record for a catcher. 24 of those came batting left-handed. There's a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, last year was really Raleigh's first full year in the major leagues. He had some time in the big leagues in 2021. Wasn't quite a rookie last year, but pretty close. And there's a good pitch by Ohtani. That's one of the best sweepers we've seen.
Shohei's not a big ground ball pitcher. Just a 10% ground ball rate this year. 42, a little over 42% in his career. If you get a ground ball with Raleigh going down the line, especially how hard he hits, you have a shot at a double play ball.
Yeah, it takes a while for the big dumper to move down that first baseline. Bouncing ball. Lamb with a backhand throws to second for 1. Rengifo to Ohtani covering first. Not in time. Raleigh just enough speed to beat the play at first as the Angels get the force out at second.
And Shohei did that exactly what you're supposed to do as a pitcher. You get to the base first before you stretch as if you're a first baseman, because you don't want to start that stretch too soon. Otherwise, a wide throw is going to end up going in the dugout.
Raleigh clearly beating it, so he's on with 2 outs. Now Teoscar Hernandez will be the batter. He struck out his first time. 2 blasts from Hernandez last night. 2 homers from A.J. Pollock as well. A pair of new Mariners with multi-home run games in the same game for their first 2 home runs on the team. That's only happened 3 other times in Major League history. Most recently in 2015 by Josh Donaldson and Russell Martin for the Blue Jays. There's a strike from Ohtani, but a pretty rare feat with 2 players each hitting their first 2 home runs with a new team in the same game. Happened with the Cubs in 1923, the Pirates in 1954, and the Blue Jays in 2015. That pitch hits Hernandez. Second hit batsman of the inning. Ohtani's been a little wild today. 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches now. And the Mariners will have a couple of men on with Colton Wong coming up.
It's a sinker that's dropped his elbow down and it runs. That's some serious movement on a 2-seamer. When you have a 2-seamer, you drop your wrist at all, it's going to run really hard in on right-handed batters.
94-mile-an-hour pitch. So that one stinging Teoscar Hernandez on a chilly day here in Seattle. So Mariners training staff having a look. And Hernandez will shoo them away. First time that Shohei has ever hit 2 batters in 1 game, let alone 1 inning.
He only hit 2 batters, period, last year.
So very rare to see this kind of lack of command today. And with that, the pitch count has gone up quite a bit, nearing 60 now. This will be his 60th pitch of the game. In just 2 2/3 innings as he faces Kolten Wong. Wong shows bunt with Urshela deep at third.
He didn't even move in at all either on that one. Because Shohei Ohtani fields his position so well. He has that coverage on the third base side of the mound.
Wong has good speed, hit leadoff a lot when he was with the Brewers. There's a strike on a breaking ball from Ohtani.
That's a good adjustment from the first one he threw him.
See Shohei pressing at his left arm. That's where his PitchCom transmitter is. He's wearing a transmitter. He's calling his own pitches.
That's a good spot. Not called a strike, but that definitely got the lower part of the strike zone. And Shohei already motioning. Like, where was that?
Tried the back door and missed. So now it's 3 balls and a strike on Wong. A.J. Pollock is on deck. Shohei in somewhat of a battle with his own control here today. There's a strike, very bottom of the zone to make the count full. Now the runners will get a head start. Raleigh from second base and Hernandez from first. On 3-2, Wong fouls it off his foot.
Already 5 full counts this afternoon for Shohei Ohtani.
A lot of pitches, 65. I know the Angels were hoping for some length today, although not quite as necessary after Jaime Barria gave the team a nice lift in terms of eating up innings after a short start from Jose Suarez. So pretty much everybody is available in the bullpen today.
With the off day tomorrow, too.
3-2 again to Wong. And there's ball 4. So another walk. That's the 4th issued in addition to the 2-hit batsman. The Mariners don't have a hit in this inning, but they've got the bases loaded with 2 outs.
And this judging for way the Angels pitchers have thrown, especially the starters in this series in the cooler air, it's tough to get grips on, especially breaking pitches.
Cold weather certainly challenges the pitchers to find the grip on the baseball. A.J. Pollock looks at a strike.
And the umpires are checking. The pitchers walking off the mound, not only just the pitching hand, but glove and belt. So you don't really have that supposed option to be able to have that stuff to be able to have a better grip on the baseball, the sticky.
On his 1-1, Major League Baseball actually announcing this week that in the Southern League this year at AA, they will be introducing an enhanced grip baseball that they'll be testing to see if they can bring that to the major leagues at some point. Pollock rolls one over to the left side. Urshela's got it. Throw to first in time. Pollock's out. And the Mariners come up empty in the 3rd. Shohei Ohtani allows the bases to be filled, but none to score in the 2-1 game.
Here's today's front door expert approach. Shohei Ohtani with 69 pitch throwing. He's throwing 31 sweepers, 18 four-seamer, 11 sinkers. Didn't throw many last time out. 5 splitters and 4 cutters. Did not throw 1 cutter last time out. So no sliders and no curveballs yet.
A whole lot of sweepers though, and he just tossed one in for a strike to Kelenic. He struck out his first time. Kelenic inside outs it to left. That's a base hit.
Another sweeper. There's been some leadoff traffic so far for Shohei. 3 of the 4 innings the leadoff man has reached. That just got so much to the plate. Especially for a hitter like Kelenic who will chase
Just under 50% of Shohei's pitches have been sweepers. There's J.P. Crawford. Kelnick with a nice lead, and there's ball one. 46% of the pitches so far for Ohtani. Two balls, no strikes. It's been a slog for Shohei today. Right from the get-go, he walked the first two hitters. He's walked 4 total, plus hit a couple of batters.
That's a strike, and not called a strike there. Inside corner at the knees. When he needs that strike zone called.
It's that one called a strike, and it's 3-1. Chop to first. Lamb has it, steps on the bag, throws to second, and it's a double play.
What a play by Jake Lamb on that one. That ball was hit hard. Many double plays turn behind Shohei because he's more of a strikeout, fly ball type pitcher, but this ball was hit hard. Right at him. Quickly throws a second to Rengifo. Good throw by Jake Lamb, too. That's one of those plays, too. You see that baseball could jump right over the first baseman's head.
Rengifo applies the tag on Kelnick. Now 2 out, nobody on for Rodriguez.
There's his cutter there, a 93-mile-an-hour cutter.
We'll see some swings like that with Shohei.
Yeah, and he was reading the spin on the sweeper there, so he was anticipating that one going on the outer part of the plate, so he already committed to swinging, and it was backed up inside.
No takebacks once you go that far around. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Rodriguez, who walked and scored in the first.
So right away, Shohei puts the pitch he wants to throw. So he's thrown 3 cutters in the sequence, and a sweeper and a cutter inside has tied him up. Going to have to be pretty quick on this delivery here now.
Rodriguez calls time, and really the Mariners have used their timeouts today with intent, more so about to disrupt the pitcher in this case than to get their own thoughts collected at the plate. It's been interesting to see that unfold here this afternoon.
I think for Shohei there, that actually was his benefit, because that would have been real close to a violation. He was just about ready to throw the baseball with about 2 or 3 seconds left on the pitch timer. Another full count. 6 of them in the game for Shohei.
3-2 to Rodriguez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good tight sweeper from Ohtani. Julio Rodriguez punches out to end the 4th. Shohei Ohtani got an awkward swing from Rodriguez early in the bat and then punched him out to end the inning. Walked 4, he's hit a couple of batters, but yet he's only allowed a run on 3 hits.
Yeah, the feel for some of his pitches, but he still knows how to battle. He's been more creative using his cutter this game, which he didn't throw out at all in that last game against Oakland.
Ty France turns away from a first pitch breaking ball for ball 1.
Again, that feel for the sweeper. Cooler night. I'm still convinced it's so hard to throw breaking pitches when it's colder out for pitchers, especially one that relies so much on it.
There's a good one to get a swing and miss from France. If you can't get to Ohtani on a day like this, when he's clearly not very crisp, when can you get to him?
Again, another one of those sweepers, just getting around, not getting a good feel for the baseball to be able to snap that slider or sweeper to have that downward break.
2 balls and a strike on France, leading off the 5th. high pop up. Rengifo's going to wait for this one to come down from the sky. And there's one away here in the 5th inning.
Just about 56% of his sweepers have been strikes today.
That's about the pace overall for Shohei as far as how many strikes he's thrown. Not as many as usual. He'll face Eugenio Suarez. Interesting note from Sport Radar. This is the first time Ohtani has ever pitched in a game where the game time temperature was below 50 degrees.
And you could tell the feel for his pitches. And trust me, I never liked throwing in the month of April. And even though I grew up in a colder climate back at Philly, I didn't have a feel for a slider at all early on. And the numbers pretty much indicate how bad that was.
Shohei's next start will be against the Washington Nationals at Angel Stadium, so we should have better climate for that one. But interesting thing maybe for Shohei even to know that this is the first time that he's pitched in cooler weather like this in a major league game.
When you could see with even Reed Detmer's slider, Jose Suarez, the same thing. Even Jimmy Herget out of the bullpen, his spin rate on his breaking ball was down significantly. It's hard to throw that in a cooler climate. And that's why you see Shohei today. Baseball slip out of his hand, hits two hit batters all last year.
Good pitch, a slider to get the swing and miss for strike 3. Eugenio Suarez is cut down. Strikeout number 5 for Shohei Ohtani.
This one stayed on top and late break to that one. Hasn't got many of those chases out of the strike zone with his slider or sweeper. That was a little harder one.
Somebody go whisper to him that it doesn't get above 50 in New York until about June.
Yes. Just saying.
1 ball, no strikes on Cal Raleigh. Raleigh bounced into a fielder's choices last time, struck out in the 1st. Ohtani's now set down the last 4. It's a leadoff base hit by Kelenic in the last inning.
Action down the bullpen for Seattle right now. Shohei Ohtani now with his pitch count getting up to 92.
Flexen's thrown a lot of pitches too. He's around 88 pitches in 5 innings. So both starters have worked hard through 5. Raleigh hits it hard right to Jake Lamb, and this will be the first clean inning today for Shohei Ohtani. 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. Trout and Ohtani will bat in the 6th inning. Courtesy of JAE. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. Shohei Ohtani always making baseball history one way or another. And today he did it again by becoming the first player in Major League history to have a pitch timer violation both on the mound and at the plate. The unicorn, baby.
By the way, that was no pitch timer violation on that one. Now this one, yes. The other one, no.
Shohei did have a long conversation with Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire, after the pitching pitch timer violation earlier in the game. Ohtani has gutted his way through 5 innings today. Still out there for the start of the 6th. Teoscar Hernandez bounces one foul. Looks like Aaron Loop is throwing in the Angels bullpen. I've not seen Loop since he came in relief on opening night in Oakland and blew that game against the A's. There's a strike, a good tight sweeper there from Ohtani. That breaking ball seemingly gotten a little better here in the last couple of innings. He's retired 5 straight, including a 1, 2, 3, 5th inning, his first perfect inning of the day. Pitch comes up and in.
There's a backup sweeper on that one too. Well, no, actually it was a splitter. Don't see that too often where Shohei is a splitter that runs like that. Hasn't thrown a lot of them. See how that tumbles. Not a lot of spin on this splitter.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Teoscar Hernandez cut down.
There's a lot of spin on that sweeper though. Wow.
6th strikeout for Ohtani.
That last splitter, this 991 on his spin rate on a splitter, and then he followed up with a nasty, nasty sweeper. But that as a hitter, you're trying to react and see the spin of a baseball. You go from 991 to 2529 RPM spin rate on a sweeper after that splitter the pitch before.
Have to give him credit too as the curveball lands for a strike. It's the 7th different pitch type he's thrown today. Now he's really stayed true to that sweeper even though it hasn't been as sharp, especially in the first few innings today.
There's a splitter again. You can see him muscling up and grunting. It was so good, that start in Oakland. First 3 innings, 21, 25, 23 pitches thrown. But since then, more economical.
At 100 right now. Wong slaps that ball foul toward the left field line. Shohei will try to push his way through the 6th inning. Kelenic is due up if anybody reaches. I wonder with Kelenic and Crawford, 2 lefties at the bottom, if that's what Aaron Loup is getting ready for. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Wong. Would imagine Ohtani will finish this at bat and then face Pollock, and then we'll see.
Yeah, the amazing thing is Shohei has used all his pitch today: 4-seam, 2-seam, cutter, slider, sweeper, curveball. Amazing. And that splitter in there too. It's unreal.
Wong with a high fly ball, hooking, and it's fouled down the right field line.
You see the percentage of sweeper: 43, 22%, and then 12% cutter today. Sinker at 11%, splitter at 8%, slider at 3%, and curveball 2%.
Good thing there's enough buttons on that transmitter to call those pitches. Wong fouls it off his foot. So Shohei with 100 pitches plus now. And a long at bat here with Colton Wong. Again, he'll probably face A.J. Pollock next. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It was the curveball that wipes out Wong. 7 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani and 2 in a row.
Curveball to get a punch out. I'm still just amazed how you can not throw a pitch really a whole lot during the course of the game, but comfortable enough in a big part of the game to throw a curveball like that to get a swing and miss.
Here's A.J. Pollock with 2 down. Sweeper finds the zone for a strike. For all the pitches that were all over the place early in the game, these last 3 innings have tightened up. Shohei has found his command, and he might even get through 6 here. Slipped a bit as he threw that one. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pollock.
Even throwing his curveball to a right-handed batter.
Yeah. It's just impressive how he finds it, even when it looks lost, and it looked lost for a few innings today.
And it's not like he finds it when he throws the warm-up pitches in between innings. He's just playing catch. Like a lot of times pitchers, when they don't have a feel for a pitch, they'll throw their 7, 8 pitches in between innings and try to find that. He just flips it up there.
Pollock fouls one off, and now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Ohtani was in the neighborhood of close to 70 pitches over the first 3 innings. Only allowed 1 run on 3 hits through 5 2/3. Has a chance to make it through 6.
This is when Shohei's usually at his best, when he knows he's at the end of that finish line there. That's when he has his best pitch. See if he has it here now.
On 2-2 to Pollock. It's outside and it's full. This will likely be the last batter and maybe even the last pitch for Shohei Ohtani today. Loup is ready in the bullpen. The lefty Kelenic is on deck. Ohtani delivering to Pollock. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Shohei Ohtani puts an exclamation point on the afternoon. He finishes his day by striking out the side. It's a 1-2-3 sixth, and the Angels with a one-run lead.